A big, bright, beautiful Android smartphone, and you won't believe how affordable it is. Let's check this out. Dave Taylor here, and I'll tell you, smartphones are getting more and more expensive. In fact, I probably don't need to tell you that. You probably already know that top-of-the-line smartphones can be $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. If you're looking at ones that unfold, they can be $2,000. That is a lot of money for a smartphone. Now, to be fair, it is the centerpiece of most people's technological lives, and we really do rely on them, so having a really nice high-end phone is really fun. But not everyone needs that. You might be a teenager or have a teenager, you might be a senior citizen, you might have a family member who never really uses a phone except once in a blue moon. But in those cases, they still want the access to all of the apps and the social networks, and they want to be able to go and stream content and even watch a movie on an airplane or something. So there's a demand for really affordable smartphones, but you ain't going to find them at most cellular carrier stores. So enter third-party companies. This is the new N20 budget Android smartphone. And I'm going to just take all the suspense out of this and tell you this is $125. That's it. That's the full price for this. And that is less than the tax I paid on the last iPhone that I bought. That wasn't even like buying the phone. That was just paying the man for the privilege of being able to buy the phone. And this is a whole purchase. You get it and it's yours. And it includes a soft rubber case. It includes a screen protector that's pre-installed. And as you can see, this one is a very nice purple color. It actually comes in 4 different colors. But let me tell you a bit more about it. And then later I'll have some demo photos and video footage. So it's not, as good as a $1,000 phone, but it's remarkably good at what it does. So it features a 6.6-inch HD plus display at 1600 by 720 running at 90 hertz. So 90 hertz is the refresh rate, and bigger numbers are always better. So if you have a really slow refresh rate and, for example, you're in an environment with fluorescent lighting, the frequency of that lighting can make your screen look really weird. So this is a faster refresh, so that's not an issue. It's powered by an octa-core Unisoc T606 running at 1.6 gigahertz max. And it's not the fastest phone in the world, but it's certainly fast enough that I can do things like move around and get apps running and such. Let's go back to where I was. Let's see. So, it runs along pretty snappy, and certainly snappy enough, and that screen is really nice and bright. 128 gig of storage. It has 3 cameras. The 2 cameras on the back are a 16 megapixel regular camera, an 8 megapixel wide angle camera, and then on the front, in what they call the hole punch, is a 5 megapixel front camera. It also has a fingerprint sensor on the power button. So I set it up so if I just put my thumb on it, it will unlock. So very modern phone, right? With all of these fancy features. It also, going back to the photography, it has an AI image enhancement system, though again, the images, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and jump into some of these demos. We'll start with photos, and then I'll give you some video examples. Let's start with all the defaults on photo capture. You can see it's a very nice image. If we go to an extreme zoom though, it does look pretty pixelated. And so probably you're not going to be doing a whole lot of zooms. And then you can look at, instead of capture, compare that with these pro defaults for a photo. And then an ultra wide. And then a selfie, and then a selfie using portrait mode, and then, this is the challenging part, night mode. And it didn't do very well with night mode. To be fair, that's a really tough environment. Let's jump over to some videos. This first video is the default video capture settings. Then I'll zoom in for the second video. Slow motion. Time lapse. And a couple of different selfies. This is a selfie video, and it's doing a pretty good job with the lighting. It's actually really pretty awful lighting because the lighting is behind me and mostly directly overhead. But I am in a windy environment, and you can still hear my voice, and you can see it's doing a pretty good job with this capture. So this is a selfie video. This is another selfie video, but this time I've managed to find a little bit of shade, so you can see it's doing a much better job. By comparison, this video I'm capturing with the rear-facing camera, so theoretically, it actually should be higher resolution and it should look better. It has also gotten a bit windier, so I'm not sure how this sound's going to be, but I'll let you decide what you think. It's running Android 14 with Bluetooth 5.0, and that supports Wi-Fi A, B, G, N, and AC. So it doesn't support Wi-Fi 6, it doesn't support Wi-Fi 7, which is the very latest standard, but odds are pretty good you don't have Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 7. More importantly, I should emphasize this is not a 5G compatible phone. This does not have the chipset needed to run on the higher speed 5G cellular network. Now, some people are concerned about the health ramifications of that 5G network, so having a non-5G phone they might view as a plus. For the rest of us, it still works. It still works just fine. It's just not the fastest cellular connection possible, but given the price point, are you willing to save 90% on the price of your phone so that you actually end up using a slightly slower network? I think a lot of people would say yes. So dual SIM, fingerprint sensor, and I love that it has no bloatware. So there's nothing else that the company adds. There's literally almost nothing from NUU. There's NUU Help. That's the only app. I will tell you, especially like Samsung and stuff, they add so much stuff. It's really kind of annoying. So phone comes with the protective case, comes with a screen protector, comes with USB-C to USB-A charging cable, and a wall charger. Most companies are now skipping this part, so it's nice to have everything you need. And instructions, and of course, who doesn't love stickers? So it comes with 2 stickers too. So that's a lot. Let me give you a tour of the ports because it has a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. I wish all phones still had that, but everything else is moving to Bluetooth. NUU said, you know what? 3.5 thing you plug in, easy. Let's make sure it's part of the phone. So starting on the top, this is the top, and you can see there's 3 holes punched for a tiny little speaker. And then there's that 3.5 millimeter audio out. On the right-hand side is the power button, AKA fingerprint sensor. And then the larger button is actually volume up and down. On the bottom is USB-C for charging, and all of those little holes are punched out so that the speaker on this side actually sounds better and gives you a little more audio. And then on the left side, there's that SIM tray that you can use. On the back, there's really not much other than 2 camera lenses and a little flash that's built in. And on the front, well, that's the phone. So the front's pretty easy. I will say that you have to check carrier compatibility with these sorts of third-party phones. This one is not compatible with a lot of the major carriers, but it is compatible with a lot of the sort of secondary carriers. Check their website or check Amazon. I'll have a link in the description, and it'll give you exact details. Do that before you acquire one of these, lest you have a teenager that says, seriously, you bought me a phone and it doesn't work with our cellular network. Did you even think this through? No one wants a raging teen. Been there, done that. Dimensions-wise, 6.5 inches by 3 inches by 0.35 inches thick. It's really a beautiful piece of engineering. In fact, let me just say, the fact that this is at the price it is really astonishing because this is a really nicely made phone and it feels like it has a lot of great features and it's a really good build quality. Comes with everything you need. This would be such a great present for someone. And as you saw, it does okay with video and photography. It's not like the top of the line sensors that it has in the unit, but it's certainly good enough to get you going. And if you're a tween or a teen or a senior, it's gonna work just fine. Night mode could do with some improvement, but that's something that's just most phones have a hard time with anyway. So there you go. And that's pretty much everything I got. I am a fan. You know, this comes in 4 different colors: green, purple, this color, or blue or pink, and it's just a delight to get something that's in a little modest box and you open it up and it's everything you need right there, ready to go. No more fuss, no having to go back to Target or Walmart or Best Buy and say, oh, we forgot a case, right? So everything's in there. So really lots to like. I am going to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Click or tap on that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon for notifications of my new content, please. I appreciate that. And if you found this of value, I certainly appreciate a thumbs up. Go ahead and click that thumbs up. Great. This, as I have been saying, is the new N20 budget Android smartphone. Comes in 4 different colors, and it is $125.99 at Amazon.com. So there's lots to like here, and you know, really, it makes you wonder, why are you spending $500, $700, $900 more for a phone when something at this price point is entirely functional for a lot of people? That's what I got. Hope to catch you in my next video.